Hello, hello. With you is Elena and the work of our master Elena. I will now explain in detail what happened to us. The situation is quite complex. I wouldn't advise taking on such a thing unless you're sure you can handle it. And I repeat once again, the video is not educational content, but simply a demonstration of our work in the salon. So, a schoolgirl came to us. She came to us on April 7th. And the whole process you will see took us from the 7th to the 14th of April. I will write in detail about hyperbaric chambers and all sorts of interesting stuff in the description. And here, I want to tell the story of this girl. She goes to school and has already had an experience with a surgeon. Once a surgeon performed a removal on the growing part of her toenail on the other foot. And of course, she was left with not very pleasant impressions from this. She even left us a very long review, in which she wrote that the surgeon was very rough and sickly, and made an injection right into the pus. Well, imagine, yes, a child, yes, in a manner of speaking, a teenager, who is simply injected into live flesh with an injection that should numb. Of course, she doesn't need anything else after that. What the hell is anesthesia, as they say? She was left with unpleasant feelings. While not as sensational as in our video, the situation there seems to have mostly resolved, but the impressions aren't very positive. And we all know what nails can look like after surgical removal. That is, sometimes I have, by the way, such a video, I will leave a link. Sometimes it happens that then 2 nails grow, and even 3 in different directions. In general, there's little pleasant here. Well, the girl turned to us with a complaint about burning. That is, it is impossible to walk, it is impossible to do anything, and we decided to take her. Lena took her for the first time on April 7th, and she had a severe burning sensation in the area of the side roller. It's very visible in the video. That is, there were some purulent formations, and plus the formation, which is called a granule between us. That is, it's something like a boil. And no, naturally, not malicious and even not benign. That is, this is how the body behaves in such situations, when there is a severe burning sensation. And, of course, then all this will go away, and there will be no trace of this very granule, and everything will be fine. Initially, she applied levomicol ointment, and then we realized that the body had already gotten used to this ointment. That is, we did a rinse, a cleaning, recommended an ointment, she applied it, did a bandage there herself, hypertonic baths. I will definitely write this recipe right under the video. And in the end, we realized that levamisine or Levicin is no longer working, so betadine was prescribed. I must say, the girl got herself into this. Well, she came, among other things, she is very responsible. But apparently, after she suffered from the surgeon, she already decided that she would go, look, what a piece. Yes, that's what was there. She will now approach the issue very seriously and will follow all the recommendations. So baths, tampons, betadine, everything was done exactly as it should be. And later, you will see the result after she dried her wound. That is, after we remove this piece of nail, it will look completely different, but that will be a little later. And what I want to say, I am undoubtedly infinitely sorry that it turned out this way with the surgeon. That he got, I am not afraid of this word, a butcher. Because pouring anesthetic directly into a live wound of a girl who is scared, without explaining anything to her, is not quite right in my opinion. Still, you need to be gentler. But I can understand the surgeons in this situation. They are dealing with entirely different issues. For them, our nail, this mouse issue, means absolutely nothing. We are drilling percussion, or more accurately, tearing the fabric. And yes, there's a lot of red substance here, which I won't name out loud, just in case, so our dear friend YouTube doesn't get upset with us. So, unfortunately, surgeons sometimes treat this, well, not very seriously, because for them, the diagnosis of an ingrown toenail is considered removed as soon as they made this incision. As soon as they cut a piece off there, inside, into the growth zone, it is considered as if everything has passed. That is, they somehow are not interested. Why the nail has already started to grow, and how it came to this, right? And what should be done so that, well, this doesn't happen next time? Well, somehow I think more attention is needed, but again, I can understand them, because this perhaps is not their work specificity. And by and large, it's this seemingly useless stuff, as many people think, that only we, yes, pedicure podiatry masters, Yes, there. Masters with a podiatric inclination and so on are engaged in. But there's another very important point. Speaking of which, you can now see this very formation, this red jelly-like lump. This is that granuloma, as it's called. And what I wanted to say about the tools. I beg you, if you somehow found the strength within you, or took courses and definitely know how to do it, please, be very careful. Here, the handling of tools is very important because, well, everything is basically on open flesh. This action is happening with us, and of course, there is a lot of red substance. This responsibility lies entirely on you. That is, every master should be responsible for this and think about it, because if God forbid something happens, you have to live with it. Maybe not for long, of course, right? Maybe they will catch you right away. There were such cases, yes. Now everyone will probably remember Elena Zeke. It was very amusing to me when at the very beginning, when I started to lay out all this horror, people started to write to me like, you are repeating after Elena Zeke. I say, we are not repeating after Elena Zeke. Elena Zeke and I have different approaches. She completely removed the nail plate in a second by cutting, digging, or pulling it out, leaving the fingers without nails. In her mind, this was the solution to the problem. Well, okay, God be with her. They say that they have already caught up with her, and everything that needs to be done has been done with her. In my opinion, the YouTube video is still being released. If you've seen it, and by the way, if anyone knows how that situation was resolved, please write in the comments. I'm interested in reading, but unfortunately, I don't have the time to sit and watch all of it. Therefore, if you provide additional information, I will be very grateful. But at the same time, we are already finishing our first procedure. Everything that could, we disconnected, we washed and reached. Already after the first time, the client feels a significant relief. That is, it is not so painful anymore, and the inflammation will be going away. Of course, provided that she will follow all the recommendations. And she definitely does, because by the 24th of April, everything was completely different. And here is her next visit. I want to note that, naturally, we constantly ask clients for a photo report. That is, they send, describe their condition. That is, if suddenly something somewhere is wrong, then we immediately call them, invite them to the procedure, so that there are no unpleasant consequences. And here you observe a tamponade. The girl came with her own tamponade, which she installed herself. Also, you see, the level of responsibility of a person approached this seriously, understood how to install all this, and brought it to us. What a beauty. That is, it is already visible that there is no such strong inflammation. There's a small amount remaining, but it's noticeably less compared to the initial quantity. And we're not rushing the work, because I want to show that everything is done very accurately and very gently. Of course, the last thing we want is for the client to be in pain or uncomfortable somewhere. Notice that the granule, so to speak, is receding. Everything is already very good. And then Fukortsin will be prescribed. Fukortsin is a preparation that has a drying effect. I will also leave detailed instructions under the video. Fukortsin is used by clients at home independently. Such a bright pink liquid will drip onto the tamponade. I think you've seen a few videos of mine where the nails are pinkish or the skin is on the sides. Well, this is the very Fukortsin that they drip with. True, sometimes they drip on their own, without our recommendations. Then it may not be entirely appropriate, because Fukortsin is applied when there is inflammation, when everything is behind, and when there are no grown parts. Now, we will just dry and calm all these tissues around, well, and then we will wait for the correction in the system and all 33 pleasures. But about the ACS, in fact, we will see, because we need to first bring out these corners, wait for full healing, and then we will look. Maybe there everything is normal, and you just need to choose the right shoes and heels, and everyone will be happy. Well, for now, that's how we look. And this is already her next visit. We can see the remnants of that very thing. Fukortsin. Pay attention to the big finger. There is a dent on it. And I think this tells us either about the wrong socks or about the shoes, because of course, this should not be the case. See, such pink puffs, this is it, the very same Fukortsin. But I have to say, she's a trooper. She did very well. Everything looks simply beautiful. The trend is impressive. Look at the side roll. Where there was this scary thing, there's practically nothing left there now. Everything is already quite decent. Here we are again extracting the tamponade. but we see that something is still spinning in it. It goes far into the roll. So most likely the correction system is shining for us. But this is a completely different story. This will be very, very much separate. Naturally, with such a condition of the nails, or rather the rolls and growths, we do not engage in any aesthetic pedicures. We do not file anything there and do not trim. And we do not remove any cuticle. This is a completely different matter, as aesthetics takes a back seat at such moments. In general, everything will be fine with us. We will definitely continue the story. Lena is melting another piece. I would probably ask you, I would be very interested to hear about your experience with surgeons. Or rather, to read from you, what situations you had. Did anyone have an unsuccessful removal? I say again, I will also leave a link to the video after the surgeon's removal. We have such a video. Well, thank you all very much for watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And definitely your comment about the removal. Bye-bye!